Well, good morning, everyone. My goal for today's session is to get you thinking about your current clinical and financial products and to consider the concept of re-implementation as a means to, as a better method for saving money versus purchasing a new software product. Now, maybe you've been using the same product for many years and you're sort of past that honeymoon phase of the vendor calling you and wondering how you're doing and seeing how things are going. And you're starting to feel like maybe there's other options to consider out there. Or maybe you weren't involved with the original product selection at all, and you have no idea about the system's core functionalities and capabilities. And through attrition, there's no one within even the organization to show you what the system, how the system really even works. Or maybe when your organization initially decided to purchase the product and go live, you only chose to implement portions of the product to get your job done right then. So even though you bought the entire package, the majority of your product is still essentially underutilized. Well, regardless of the scenario that best fits your description, chances are if you're sitting here today, you might be considering the possibility of moving on to another product that meets your needs or you think might meet your needs a little or a lot better. Well, if you've ever been involved with the software selection process, you know how costly and time-consuming this aspect of the phase can be. Now, software vendors vie for your affections like it's the first day of spring, and they're willing to tell you everything that you want to hear. And there are so many products out there, some with complete clinical and financial suites, while others might just offer maybe just specialized product offerings that you hope will interface with your core product. So you narrow it down to the top 2 or 3 and you decide to schedule a software review session and you bring in 10 to 30 of your best and brightest because you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and you finally decide on a product. Well, once that product is finally decided on, some of those best and brightest are thrilled and others are a little unhappy because their selection wasn't made. Next comes contract negotiation, and I've known that process to take anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 months, depending on the organizations involved. And by that time, your best and brightest have already moved on, or they've forgotten which product was even initially selected. Next comes the need to have the staff on hand to learn the product and to set up and configure. And for some of these organizations, this aspect of the phase can take years. Now, training in new software can be costly and may even result in billing delays and clinical mishaps. And training a new system warrants the dedication of time and money to implement the entire package so that all modules are implemented. This is really the only way that an organization can realize their full ROI. So I'm proposing the concept of re-implementation. The cost savings and benefits are many when adopting this approach, from a dramatic reduction in the amount of work to fewer challenges and internal culture change. Now, the cash outlay for an initial software investment is surely enough to make an organization want to take a step back and look at what they currently are using to see if it might not be improved by tweaking and retraining. Another benefit to re-implementation is the reduction in costs associated with training the new system. Now, I'm not suggesting that training won't be necessary during re-implementation, but the fact that it's a system that users are already familiar with will reduce your costs substantially in this area. Now, since many of the staff are already familiar with certain modules, this allows you to provide a refresher training for the core functionality that's already been implemented. And you can then build upon the pre-existing knowledge of the system to roll out and implement those new modules that you've never even considered rolling out before. Now, there's no need to reinvent the wheel here. Use your existing knowledge of the system to reset up those maintenance files and get that product working the way you need it to work rather than purchasing a new product. This second time around approach will provide you with better outcomes and enhanced reporting. Now, by selecting re-implementation over the purchase of a new product, you face fewer challenges and internal culture change as well. Because your staff is more familiar with the product that you're re-implementing, then chances are they're going to have more success. Now, software vendors don't want to lose your relationship. And chances are you're still paying monthly or annual support fees for their services, and they don't want to lose that revenue stream either. So recycling your relationship with your vendor is always a good approach. Re-implementation of your existing product will also allow your organization to maximize your initial software purchase. and truly show that return on investment that you hope to show the first time around. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be free, but I'm certain that once you weigh the costs associated with re-implementing versus a migration to a new software product, you'll realize that there are significant and tangible benefits. And who wouldn't want an improved product at a reduced cost? Thank you.